How are you? It's Talk to Me Tuesday. And actually, it's a special edition because it's really two for Tuesday because I have my good friend and colleague, Risa Suzuki, here with us today because there's some crazy stuff going on in my home. I don't know about your home, probably, which is why I have her here to talk to us. And Risa and I were talking about it's non-GMO month. If you didn't know, October is non-GMO month. And I was talking about how GMOs are like frankenfoods, and because they really are. When you take two completely unrelated species, and mash them together, it's like Frankenstein's monster. And the stuff that it does to you in your body is even worse. And we talk about that all the time, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. But Risa and I, we kind of geek out about detoxing and all this crazy stuff in the world and how to make it better. So it's not just about, oh God, this guy is falling, all this terrible stuff, but we always want to give you actionable steps and things that you can still feel good about living in the world, but having a cleaner inside and cleaner environment. And so as we're talking, making jokes about Halloween, and I can't believe how early all the Halloween decorations came out. I mean, come on, it was September and people were already decorating their lawns. That's another story. But Risa was telling me about, I'm going to let her talk more about it, but things that are in our homes, basically you can't see them, you can't hear them, you can't smell them, but they're there. They're lurking, and it actually, how we know that they're there is we feel it. We could feel low energy. We can feel respiratory distress or asthma. My cats have asthma. I do so many amazing things for them health-wise. They have the best food ever. I give them turmeric supplements and fish oil supplements, and they have asthma. And although the supplements do help, there's something else that's going on. And so Risa and I were talking about it, and I said, I don't know that people know about this. I didn't know very much about it. And when I do detoxes with people, I don't really cover this. But Risa does. So without further ado, let me introduce Risa because she's here. She's here. This is so cool that we got her all the way from Seattle here. Meet Risa Suzuki. Hey, Risa.
Hi, Ellie. How are you? Thanks so much for having me on. This is really fun.
So fun. Welcome.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's so funny. You're in this cute little tank top, and it is so cold in Seattle today. And I've been freezing in my office all afternoon. And I've been so busy that before we came on, I'm like, I got to go change into a sweater because it's so cold. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is such an important topic that as soon as you started telling me about it, I thought, okay, people have got to know because it's huge. It's endless. So tell me, what is this thing that we're talking about?
So this thing, you may or may not have heard, they're called EMFs or electromagnetic fields. These things are coming from anything that is electronic in our house. They're fields that come from electricity, our cell phones, our laptops, power strips, cell towers if you're outside of the home, service drops.
So like everything that's around me right now.
So I was just going to say everything around you. I could see you kind of looking around. Yeah, probably everything. If you've got your computer in front of you, use your camera and all that other great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said,
great.
Yeah. So and like you said, you can't see them, you can't hear them. Sometimes you can hear, like with the compact fluorescent light bulbs, you'll hear that really super high frequency pitch.
Yes.
Or sometimes, sometimes you'll plug something in and it'll just make that really high pitch, and that's what that is. So high frequency pitch. But there is an electromagnetic field that is coming from that, and those actually impact your health. So even though
the light bulbs?
Oh yeah, the light bulbs are terrible. The compact fluorescent light one. Yeah.
So the ones that are in most office buildings,
Yeah. So there's
doctors'
the
offices,
yeah, exactly, like all the commercial buildings.
shopping
So
centers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the little swirly ones that are, they're energy efficient, but if
The
you
swirly
drop,
ones are worse.
they're the worst. Um, because they give off radio frequency, which is a type of electromagnetic field. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But they also have so much the mercury vapor in there. If you drop one, you have to have a hazmat suit because there's so much in there, right? And they also give off they also give off a shade of blue that's not found in nature. And so what happens is your eye is trying to interpret what this light is, but it can't because it really doesn't exist. So a lot of times you'll get eye strain or headaches or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I do know about the blue light, and I do have on my computer monitor. So here's a tip for everybody. I have a Mac, and I use the Flux app
Yep.
where it will automatically, when you are supposed to be sleepy time, as the light, the natural light goes away,
Yep.
when you're supposed to have melatonin that's going to make you go to sleep, the blue light will affect that. And so my computer screen knows on a timer it will slowly start to dim, and it'll
Yep.
be like an orange color.
Right. And those help. Yep.
Yeah, totally help. Cool. So back to you. Actually, I just want to really quickly make sure that, because I've never done this before, this is a first, this Two for Tuesday kind of thing. I just want to make sure that people can see us. I see Cliff is with us. Hey, Cliff, can you see us? Can you just type in and say, hey, yeah, I see you. Just want to make sure, because Risa has a lot of great things to share, and I just want to make sure that we can see her. Are you there still? Can you see me? Can somebody just type in and say that you can see me? Us? No? Okay. Well, okay, I can see you. Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, Risa, back to you. So where else are these electromagnetic fields or frequencies? Where are they?
Mostly, I mean, anything that is battery operated, or like I said, anything that is electrical. So anything that you plug in, it's light switches, it's outlets, it's our computers, our cell phones, laptops.
So I'm
Basically
really surrounded.
yeah, it's basically all of our tech gadgets. And, even though you might be doing everything you can to stay healthy. So, for example, before I was sensitive to EMFs, I was, I've always eaten right, I've always exercised. I have allergies, but not so severe that I couldn't do anything, or, that I couldn't help with an allergy pill, or just taking, having food that naturally was an anti-inflammatory. But my health still, it declined when it came to EMFs when 3G came out. So.
Oh, that is so interesting. I mean, yeah, there are so many people that I know and clients of mine who eat right, exercise all of the time. We've done detoxes. We detox the home, and yet they're still not feeling right. There's this like overwhelming, I just don't feel right in my head. Something's not right. And when something's not right. And EMFs might be to blame.
Right. And
who's susceptible to this? Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, that's really interesting that you talk about the head, because that's one of the areas that most people feel at first. Like you'll feel like you have a headache, or you just feel like you have, a lot of clients experience kind of like a throbbing. Sometimes it's vertigo. A lot of people feel really anxious. Like they just feel kind of, a little jittery or wired or buzzy, I guess. And, the other thing is that they find it really hard to wind down in the evening and fall asleep, and then sleep through the rest of the night.
Oh my God, that is so common. I mean, how many of you are already feeling anxious because life is stressful these days. Like we're always on the go. You're already feeling stressed out and anxious. You already feel like you don't have enough time to sleep. And then you have something else, something artificial. Is it artificial? I guess it's artificial.
Yeah, it's artificial. It's man-made.
Man-made, that's making you feel more anxious and taking away your sleep.
Right.
Super. Awesome.
Yeah,
and it's stuff that we buy that we want to have in our homes that we're super excited to have more and more of because it's the best technology and we only want the best.
Right. Well, and it's also convenience too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But to go back to your other question though, as far as who is susceptible,
yeah,
everyone is, to be quite honest, because we, think of all the cell towers that are up. Think of all of this, you go into a restaurant and everybody's got their smartphones or cell phones or their tablets or what have you. So you really can't get away from it. And even if you go out, let's say out to the country, people think, oh, well, maybe I just need to move out of the city and just go live out in the burbs. And that's actually not necessarily going to help them because when you've got the cell towers out in the country, they are typically on very high hills. And those towers, because there's not as many around, they have farther distance to travel. So guess what? That signal is a heck of a lot stronger out in the country because it's got farther distance to travel. So it's literally kind of a like, you have to kind of pick and choose. So the really, and the really important thing is to understand, number one, what these fields are, where they come from, and then you can start going into how can I start protecting myself? Because once you reduce your exposure, that also reduces your risks for, any kind of health issues. Just kind of like everything else, like with toxins, right? All the toxins in your products or in your food. Your body can only take so much before something just explodes. Like I always use the water balloon example. Like you can only fill up a balloon with so much water and then it explodes, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. Like that's why, like a lot of my clients, some of them have EMF sensitivities, but most of them have other things going on. Like chronic things like Lyme disease or multiple chemical sensitivity or metals toxicity. There's a lot of metals toxicity around and, just general kind of immune things. And so their system, it's already been compromised in some way. And so
this would cause people to hold on to weight.
Exactly.
Low energy, painful feelings. Yeah, it's a whole nother side of the detox and health equation that people aren't really talking about.
Exactly. And especially the sleep, because if you can't sleep, you don't get all of your sleep cycles, which a lot of people don't because you're so, most people, well, we'll get into other tips and stuff, but, you sleep with your cell phone next to your bed or things like that. And it actually disrupts your melatonin production. So it interrupts your sleep cycle. And of course, at night, that's when your body is going, whew, okay, I can chill out for the day. I can start repairing. But if you don't have your sleep, you don't have, your body can't repair itself, then you just kind of get into this never-ending loop of
it can't do its natural detoxification.
Exactly.
If you're not sleeping because you're having this toxic assault overnight. So when I work with people around food and eating at a certain time and then allowing your natural detoxification processes to happen in your sleep, but then there's this whole other component that's like, we're not going to let you do that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So, okay, we just have a few minutes. What are your top 3 tips that my friends what can they do today? What are the top 3? If they didn't know anything about EMFs, what can they do today to start making it better?
Okay, so the first thing is turn off your Wi-Fi router at night. I know this is going to be really painful, but a lot of times there's things inside your home that are actually the strongest and affecting you the most. So for those of you who have your Wi-Fi routers and you go, oh my God, I can't do it, try it for 3 nights. So all of this, try it for 3 nights. That's what I always tell all my clients. Try it for 3 nights and see how you feel. So the first thing is to turn off your router. And when I say, actually, I should say unplug your router, because you want to make sure that it's still not, even though you're not using it, it's still broadcasting. So you want to make sure that you actually unplug it from the plug. The second one would be, did that hit home to you, Allie?
Maybe.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Do I have to do what?
Yeah. Well, because you have to move the furniture to get to it because it's behind the thing and the thing. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Okay, yeah. So the next one is to not use your cell phone as an alarm clock.
Definitely not.
And okay,
Definitely
good. Okay, good. And so that means that put it on airplane mode so that
not even in the room.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. Most people have their cell phones under their pillow, or they've got it charged right next to the bed. Either of those situations, yeah, I mean, radio frequency basically blows out your melatonin production. So you want to make sure that you just put it on airplane mode or completely power it off if you're comfortable doing that. The next one is wherever you work, you know, whether you're in an office or you're at home, move all of your power cords and everything, your chargers, move those as far away from you as you possibly can. And that's really going to help with fatigue, because again, you have all these things plugged in, and you're on your desk. You want them really close, so they're usually within a foot, is what I typically see, and that's usually not where the fields start to drop off. So move that stuff, either plug it in across the room or a different room, or just move them as far away from you as you possibly can if you're in a super small space.
So awesome. Now, before you give us the last tip, that was the last tip. That was the last tip. Okay. Oh, right. A phone, router, and this. Okay. Awesome. Because this is it feels a little overwhelming to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much. Like this topic, when we've been talking about it, it's just, there's so much. So can we talk longer about this? Do you guys want to know more? Do you want to know more about this, you guys? Because Risa is so freaking awesome. She agreed to do a special webinar next week, next Tuesday. October 17th at 4 o'clock. We're going to do a webinar where we're going to dive deeper into all of this, because 15 minutes just isn't enough. And this is so fascinating to me. Stuff that we can do to make our homes safer, healthier, our kids safer, healthier.
Absolutely, for kids.
Our pets, our elderly, us. Right? Does that sound good? Next Tuesday? Risa, you'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Does anybody have any questions for Risa while we have her here live? And we'll be here live for the webinar. Here, let me show you. Here's how you can register for the webinar. So it's a master class. Risa is so cool. Yes.
I'm super psyched. I've gotten a lot. I kind of redid some of the content, and everyone has said, "Oh my gosh, all your stuff it's just been so great with the new revised format." So I'm really excited.
If you have a question, type it into the box, because I can see what you're writing. If anybody has a question, otherwise we can see you on the webinar next week. I hope you guys will join us. It's totally free, and
we'll have Q&A.
And Q&A
at the end.
And Q&A, yeah, because I want to know more. It's just, I feel like no one's really talking about this. Like, I know a little bit about the blue light, and you don't want to have your electronics on you.
Yes.
But there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the lady. You guys, we got her. We got her. She is the one. Am I pointing correctly? Pointing, I don't know how to.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
She's the one. She's the one, and we got her here live. So if you have a question, definitely, or now this one right here, or whatever, click the link below, sign up for the webinar, and we'll talk more about it, because we're all about empowering yourself. Whatever you can do, you can't live in a bubble. We don't want you to live in a bubble. We live in the world. We have cell phones. We're going to have tech. Tech makes our jobs easier, our lives easier. We love it. But we also have to protect ourselves. And it's the same way we keep GMOs out of our food as much as possible. We go organic, our bodies start to change and the circulating levels of pesticides are noticeably reduced in 5 days of going organic. Same thing Risa sees in her work. When you reduce the EMF exposure, when you mitigate the exposure of these fields to your body, things just start clearing up.
Yep.
So all the things, an earthquake. Just kidding. That wasn't an earthquake. Earthquake alley. All of the things that you're not seeing traction on in your health, your weight, your brain fog, all the things that I haven't been able to help you do yet, Risa might be able to. So join us next Tuesday, October 17th at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. And tell us what we're going to learn.
Tell you what you're going to learn. So one, I'm going to tell you what exactly EMFs are, other than a 2-second, kind of little intro. But you're going to learn what the fields are, how they behave. You'll also learn the 7 things that you need to know if you're going to actually be successful in reducing them in your home and reducing your risk and your exposure. Because the longer you're exposed to them, then of course your health risks increase for other things. And then I'm also going to give you some really great tips. One of them is how you need to dial in your bedroom so that you can get amazing sleep. And then a bunch of other quick tips that are going to just help you protect your health. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be there.
But you'll get things that you can do right away. Because that's my big thing. Is it's like you, that's why we kind of click, is because it's giving all of the information, but then giving you something that you can do right away, so you don't think the sky is falling. Nobody likes to feel helpless.
No, because it just you paralyze.
Right.
Yeah, like you don't do anything. And so I kind of wanted to jump on here and introduce you to Risa. If you don't know who she is, you will, because she's amazing and she is the leading expert in her field, and we got her. So that's pretty cool. And I just like to know stuff. I like to know stuff. I want you to know stuff. The more we know stuff, the better we can be. And it's sort of this ripple effect in the world where people become empowered and there's less sick people. And less sick people means more happy, healthy, positive people. And we need that.
Exactly. Yes, I totally agree.
Right now. Yeah, always. But right now, especially. So thank you, Risa. This is super fun. I don't see any questions, but I hope you guys will join us next week. Yeah? And we'll talk some more then. Yeah? Okay. Well, bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, Allie.
You got it. Thank you.